Hey, looks, it's Roslynn back at you one more again. I hope everybody is doing blessed. I'm doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. I hope everybody had happy holidays. And soon to be happy New Year's. With all that being said, much love to all. Namaste. Love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. If you've been watching my videos for a while and have not already, like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback to the content of my video, or you're up, tell me about your empathic gift. And if you feel like the videos are uplifting, give good vibes that you would love to share with a loved one, family, or a friend, please go ahead and share, especially if an empath are going through troubling times right now and need just spiritual guidance or confirmation or validation towards life path or even soul purposes. Please go ahead and share. Go ahead and give a girl a thumbs up, like, and also share on the social media favorites wherever you see fit. As always, much love to you, and I hope you're able to resonate with the content of my video. This video content is about Twin Flame 101, Heyokas. We all have a story, and your experience will be seen for the world to exist in the amount of the huge change that needs to take place. Everybody has a story that they have to tell. I just recently told you about the things that I've gone through that led me to my purpose. This is what started me off. I haven't really talked about it, went into detail about what universe wanted me to talk about, all out of the blue. Well, it wasn't out of the blue, it's calculated for them, until I got into that comfortable place where I was not, seeing the people that were involved in my life as a narrative of the negative, of my situation. And it wasn't, it wasn't about bragging or boasting on the things that, taken place in my life, but just being able to share with you, which I've been led to share more different things that I haven't really gone into detail about, different things that's gone into my life. And being able to know there's a lot of times that we suffer in life, either from our evil deeds that we have did towards other people as well as ourselves, that comes back to clear slates, or just certain things that just come about where we just feel like life isn't fair. We suffer to grow in some kind of way, and a lot of times we try to understand how is that, how is a negative going to be able to be placed as a positive. And it's all about what you have gone through and how you choose to see it, and how you choose to deal with it. There's a lot of times, our hardships can really lead us down a very self-destructive path. And it doesn't have to be just self-destructive towards ourselves, as other people that we come into contact with. There's a lot of people that I've known personally that has been very self-destructive towards themselves, and they project a lot towards people. I've done it, and it wasn't easy for me to allow myself to admit those things. A lot of times I didn't even see myself as victim placing into myself. I didn't know anything about how you can place yourself as being a victim towards things, even though you were victimized. It's just a lot about how you choose to deal with it, especially with me being on a platform the way I am, being able to use what I've gone through, to be able to not just help myself through my matters of healing, but help others as well. It's just like a lot of us has gone through different things in our lives that we are very hush hush about. It can affect us on how we deal with people, allowing them into our lives. A lot of things give you trust issues. I still have issues with trust when it comes to that. I don't allow people to get too close to me at times, just because of the things that I've gone through and the experience that I've gone through with other people, because of that situation of how they can inflict harm on me through ego, through jealousy, envy, or different things like that. Or they just feel like, oh, she doesn't deserve this and all this and this and that. But it's not even really to place blame, just to be able to tell you the different things that I've gone through in my life. I've gone through almost damn near all kind of abuse growing up in my life. And it allowed me to, create narcissistic traits within myself of how I was exposed towards my upbringing, and not really understanding normalizing things in that nature where I thought was normal, different, being around different people and their family. I'm like, oh, y'all don't argue. Your parents don't drink until they, start getting crazy and stuff like that. And not like that happened in an everyday basis, but it would get to that point into my life where, through the adopted family I was in, I would see a lot of that. And it was very, it was very scary for a child to be able to go through different stuff like that. And going through abuse as a child, I had a good, somewhat upbringing, but it's like the older I got, the worse it got. The more I emulated my biological father, the worse it got on my my mom's ex-husband, on his side towards him, and it got to that point where it distanced my mom away from me as well because of the protection she had for me. And then it became anger. Her husband left her because of that situation. And for me finding out I was adopted the way I was, I unleashed a lot of anger. I felt, I was like the spawn of Satan. It's time. And I just really felt like, I wasn't cared for. So why do I even care to obey the things that they say? I had to go through many lengths to get attention from my family, as well as feel like I wasn't loved, which I felt like I wasn't. My mom, she loved me. She just didn't know how to deal with that because, my mom's really went through emotional scarring with her ex-husband because she wanted to live an honest life with who my family was, being able to connect with my dad. So it was just like for her sneaking around and allowing me to speak to my biological father. It caused the strain on her and her relationship with her husband. So from all that, I went to go stay with them for a while. And when I came here to Georgia, my first time, I was like 12 or 13, the abuse went full blown, and it was just like, going through torture, it was, harsh words being said, just trying to understand that that's how love is supposed to be. And then going through that, I had kids early. My first one was like 16. The way my mom did. My mom was 16 when she had me, and my dad was 18, and that was how I repeated that in that generation. And thank God I didn't have my first granddaughter until my oldest daughter got 23, 21, 21, 22 era. But going through all those different things in my life, I've gone through police brutality. I was hit by a drunk driver and came through, shed light at. I went through a lot of different things where my whole body was shattered. I died for like 10, 15 minutes, which was, kind of impossible for you to do and not have any kind of brain damage or anything like that. It was just my whole left side was shattered. Got blamed for that. So next thing I had to deal with, a cop that was just always harassing me. It was like racial profile, anything, it bust a headlight or, a backlight or say, oh, she had, he would just have a reason to, try to give me a ticket. I was dating a well-known drug dealer at the time. Well, not at that time. It was like, a couple of years apart. But even though I wasn't involved in the stuff that he was doing, I would always get, tailed, getting little stupid tickets for this and that, because they were hoping they would find stuff in my car. And I'm just like, hey, whatever he does, that doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm just dating him. And that's it. So he made sure I wasn't involved in that, but I was being watched for stuff like that. So, it's like about 5 or 6 years after that, the drunk driving situation went on. And next thing the cop just started. I think it was like related to the drunk driver. I guess he was like 3 times over the limit to be even driving. He was driving with no headlights on, and he was picking people back and forth up from the club, which was scary. That's around the time everybody drunk. So it's like blind leading the blind. And it come to find out, universe shed light on me, saying that I was saving him, even though it took my life and it brought me back. I was saving him because it was like, 3rd of July. So everybody's on the main highway where I stayed at. in the Midwest. It was like we lived on the outer road, and it's like down the steep cliff. Then there you see the major highways that were going. It was very packed. There was a lot of, traveling back and forth for people, going to visit family and stuff like that. And for me and my car being in that way, I saved actually his life, as well as there could have been a lot of other people's lives that he would have took. And, I got blamed for that. I had to go back and forth to court and stuff like that. And it got to that point, where this cop, it was always, even if it was my ex driving my car next, he's pulling him over. He'll tell me, hey, such and such, officer such and such, don't pull me over thinking I was you, and then he left me alone. And it was getting to that point where, where in that county, he was known, so there was no kind of real protection that I could really get. And it took a point where me and my friend went to, to the club. And it's like from her house already to mine. No, from her house, from the club to her house and dropping her off. That was already a strike against him, because you followed behind me, never pulled me over, never did anything, but you followed me, all the way there, and you waited in a dark spot where I couldn't find you. And my friend told me, hey, Roz, why don't you stay here, in case if he's still following you. Because I'm like, I know who this idiot is. I don't know why he keeps doing this, and it was just like he had a vendetta for me. And I don't know why. And I think it was just because the drunk driver was related to him in some kind of way. And he lost his job with an eye and everything else, and he put the blame on me. And they knew I didn't do that, but it came to that point where it really terrified me to be around cops. I've told different people, I've been on, chat here, and we talked about that. And it was just, and she was like, Roz, I really think you need to stay here. And I said, no, my I got somebody watching the girls, and I really need to get home, And next thing I got pulled over in a dark place where I couldn't be seen. And I was trying to hit, different places, not knowing I'm putting my own self in danger by just going where I was going, because I knew if I hit this, hit this little side area, there's no lights, there's no street lights, so I can keep going and hit close to my house. But he made sure that he got me to where nobody could see me, and he snatched me out the car. And I called my friend, and while I was calling my friend, I said, look, I know I've been stopped by many cops before. You're not telling me, the reason for you stopping me. What was the reason for? He would never, what he was going against, what he's supposed to do on protocol on how you pull somebody over. You ask for, license and registrations, then the reason why you pulling this person over. But, my license was good. My tags was good. All my lights were fixed, so there was no reason for you pulling me over. And for that, my hair was halfway down my back, and he snatched me out my car, while I was on the phone with my friend, because I left her on the phone. And I told her, this dude's trying to kill me. And he took my phone and broke it. And it was just like, I told her, please call the cops. I'm over here by the car wash. And, I was praying while this man was, snatching me out my car, and I was fighting him back. He knew I had a back injury from, when that dude, rammed into my car, T-boned me. So he knew the injuries that I sustained in that situation. So he tried to do it kind of like a wrestling suplex, where you jump up in the air and went knee down to my spine to paralyze me. And it just so happened I moved. And when he took his service pistol out, he had it in my head, and then I was fighting him, because I knew he was going to blow my head off. And he told me, like, nigga, you are going to die. You're going to be right next to your mom, but they ain't going to be able to identify you. And, I'm like, why are you doing this to me? And just crying and pleading for him to leave me alone. He kicked all my teeth out on the side of my mouth. I was, spitting up blood. I was really hurt. That's the reason why I have very extensive dental work that I have to get, is like over $40,000 worth of damages in my mouth, to where I have really bad nerves. So it's like my teeth are like just steady coming out, or they're becoming decayed, where I have to get them snatched out. So it's just like, going through those different situations has really, terrified me when it comes to cops. I've actually had good cop friends. And it was just for that situation when he was getting ready to pull the trigger. It just so happened. That's how I knew God was looking out for me. Actually, it was one of my mom's good friends that she had worked with for a long time. And he kept watch over me after my mom passed away. And he was like, hey, I was like, I was calling him by first name. I'm like getting him, and he kept on calling me the N word. And, he was like, you know her? He know her. And he's like, yeah, I know her. What did she do? And then he couldn't really say. I said, I didn't do anything. He just snatched me out the car, and you see, my hair, and you see scalp, laying on the asphalt, and I'm bleeding all over the place. So it's just like I've gone through different things like that where I end up having to go to court. It was assault on the officer that he said that I tried to snatch his service pistol out. I tried to fight him. I was drinking and driving, but all of a sudden his body cam was nowhere to be found, or neither was the dash cam. I had a good enough lawyer, those public pretenders. I didn't have a lawyer, but I had a public pretender. That's what I call him, because he would pretend that I did more work in my situation than he did. So I ended up getting, I was supposed to go to prison for 17 years for something I never did, and I ended up having to do 67 days. And at that time where we lived in the Midwest, it was, we were close to St. Louis. And around this time, this is where we had a total blackout, and with my kids, and my youngest daughter's father, he kept my kids. And it was like a nervous wreck because I didn't know what was going on with them. This is around people, it was over like 36,000. I think it was either 3,600 or 36,000 people have died because there was no lights, because of the blizzard and stuff that was going on. So my nerves was wrecked, going through different things of that nature. And, even with that situation, I was very angry because they brought in an officer I never met. I was like, who is this that's coming in here? Right along with the guy who, tried to kill me. And they were like, this was the dude that came in. I was like, no, it wasn't. And come to find out, going through trial, they put my mom's friend on administrative leave with pay, extra pay, because they said, you can't come in. You can't come in to work. You cannot come and be subpoenaed, because they knew they were going to end up being subpoenaed to court for him being there. And then it would have, he would have went down for a long time, because this is not his first time doing that. I've known people, the only way they stayed out of jail if they supplied him with his booger sugar of drugs of choice. If you're from the South, you know what booger sugar is, the white girl thing, different stuff like that. But, it was a lot of times where, there was some good cops out there, but there was also some really bad cops. But that was my run-in with them. And I was very hurt because I said, I didn't do anything. You see how he treated me. You see how the images, I had, extensive, damages to my face that was really messed up, to where I got permanent back damage. I have head issues with everything that goes on with me, along with everything else that I go through. And going through that, not knowing if my children were dead or anything like that. My mom's ex-husband and his wife, was trying to be able to say, hey, you can call us for anything, but they made sure that they blocked the number to make sure I never called, and trying to understand why they did that. But then, later on, things started making sense on that, to where they were already plotting out their demise for me, the situation on trying to make me, go through a lot of different things, because they knew I was suicidal after my mom had passed away. I just had a nervous breakdown after everything. And, going through those different things in my life, it really opened my eyes to a lot. You see a lot of different things that's going on. It's just not, trying to speak on different things that, I love to allow myself to focus on, but just being open to let we all have a story on different things that we have gone through in life, and it can really lead us towards bigger and better into our lives, to where we've gone through different things that has taken place. And it can really help, not just help you, but help other people, It will take you towards a path where you can allow people to be, you can be open to people, and tell the different things that you have gone through. It was almost close to 2 weeks ago, I allow people to know that has not known, because there's a lot of people that have recently subscribed to me, don't really know my story. It's just that they listen to a lot of my Heyoka videos, and really, they really find insight on that explains a lot of different things that can really resonate too. And then it got to that point where I always had to be very secretive about my purpose, because it was so life-threatening to me, because there's so many people that are still, trying to take me out because of my situation on who my father is. And it has not been good for me. But I know that God has protected me through all these different things. There's times I was angered with him. I'm like, this is not fair. I deserve closure. I deserve to know who my dad is. My dad was always there when he could be. He tried to visit me at times, and that didn't end well. There was a lot of arguments and fights that took place when he used to try to sneak and see me for different holidays, and they wouldn't allow him to do that. But a lot of different things just came up. I tell people there's days where I don't like the world. I feel like life isn't fair. I struggle with depression a lot. I get angry with God, saying I have every right to know who my family is. There's people out there that, they claim they love my dad for the icon he is, or, was, but then they place threats on my life, so I said, that's not conditional love. That's love with limitations. You love my dad, but you don't love everything that's attached to him. I go through a lot of that, because it's already hard when you lose a parent, but then when you lose a parent that, there was lies and deceit and deception upon that, on you not being able to connect with him, and it's like he's all over the place, and it's been hard, but it's just like, I tell people I can't question God's motives on that. I have opinions of my own that, it hurts. I have days where I cry and I pray, or there's different times where I can be really in my emotions, and, my dad's present will come in, and, he's like, baby, I'm always there for you. Don't get angry from the things that you hear or see about me. I wasn't a perfect person. I know I did bad things, but I also did a lot of good things too, and it was hard for me to separate the two. But, going through that, I was allowing myself to actually be bold to really be able to say it, but being able to say it without, having any hatred or anger or sadness in my heart. Their sadness is always there, but I know that sadness created strength for me as well. And God used my situation for me not to just help myself, but helping other people. I've always told people that were close to me, hey, if anything happens to me, if I come up, like I'm transitioned, I'm expired, I didn't kill myself. It was people that, that I supposedly trusted, people that even live in my household. It's not my children, but there's people that lives in my household that tries a lot of times to try to make sure that I'm not here. And people get angry. They place a lot of different things on my life. I know the black magic, I know the juju and all that other stuff. Some Creole. My family protects me. There's a lot of times my family don't even know how far the family blood really goes by and what it's connected to, but they make sure they connected with me and they protect me. And, going through all those different things in my life, it still is a battle at times. I won't lie about that. There's days that I get very hateful, especially when my dad's, anniversary comes around, or, there's different things that people are putting out to, paint him as a bad person, but I have to be able to take the bitter with the sweet on those different things. It just angers me, because I'll see different things. I've seen people that was closely knit with him, and then I seen how they used their assistants, to be able to take jabs at me, because it's like throwing a rock and hiding your hand. I know you had a place in it, but you use somebody else to come do it for you, so you can paint this picture of yourself as like, oh, I'm the victim towards different things, on certain things when it comes to my dad. And I had to allow myself to really forgive them. I still work on that on days, because I'll be certain time, like, if I say something, I'm about to open up a whole can of worms, but I'm gonna allow myself to just forgive. I have to work on that on a daily basis, not allowing myself to hold in anger, because, it's just, the fact is, I used to always want to wish bad on people that wish bad on me. And it's just like, when people live in misery, there's nothing that you can wish on them. They're already living that punishment within themselves from the actions that they choose to partake in when it comes to other people's lives. I'm very hated by a lot of people, because they can wish so much on me, and God uses that for me to gain strength, to be able to keep moving, trying to be able to see a lot of different things that goes on in my life. I tell, people about, the different abuse that I've struggled with. There's a lot of different things that has came up, because I used to have to go to a lot of therapy, for a lot of sleep hypnosis, where there are certain parts of my life I'm not supposed to remember, because it would give me, emotional breakdowns to the point I wasn't sleeping at all. And then after my dad's passing, all those things came back. And on top of everything else that really sent me down, a rage, a nervous breakdown, wanting to take my own life. I felt so much pain. I didn't want to live anymore. And with my dad being in the public eye, and there was so many different things that was said, and, people judging me, people wanting to tell me, oh, you're crazy and stuff like that. And, I told people, I got proof, and that's the reason why people are trying so hard to make sure that proof doesn't get out, but I said, it is what it is. God has a reason for everything to be the way it is. Going through, that abuse because of who my father was. And I look like him, I act like him, I would talk like him. And I emulated that very, very, very well. To a lot of point of times, I was punished for that, but it's just, the fact is, the love that, God has blessed me with, having, the gift for being able to speak to the people that have passed over. I've helped a lot of people coming through my channel, as well as other people, before I can really know what I was doing. I helped a lot of other people that would come over from the other side and lead me to their family, or their family was led to me. And there's a lot of people that knew about my situation. And when they got into a good place and their benefits was already beneficial for them, they placed hate and harm on me. Thinking, oh, well, my blessings is good, but her blessings a lot better, but I want to make sure she doesn't get hers. And, it would leave a sting to me, and it made me just not want to allow people to be close to me, because it's like, I've had that happen too much. But then there's a lot of people in my life that actually truly, appreciate what I do and still stand by my side. And those are the ones that, even both, even good and bad, I appreciate them both, because it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about how cool the life, the world can really be. Even if it has nothing to do with you and they place it on you, it makes you feel certain type of ways. Like, do I not deserve love? Do I not, am I not like, why, people get angry over things because of who I'm related to? This is not, this is not my fault, but I've been punished a lot for that, and so different things that I've went through, it could have been from, the way my dad did certain things, or, certain things that's connected with his life that I'm going through, because he felt, what he's done is probably caused that issue. And I really felt, I always told him, I don't want you to feel bad for what I've gone through. I may not know everything that you have gone through, but I know that you love me. You're right in your wrongs. Even over on the other side, you're righting your wrongs. And everybody has a past. Everybody has things that they have done in life, and it you can be repent. It can be repented with, even if you're here, or, if you have passed on or whatever, you can repent from those, because there's a lot of times I've done a lot of things to people that can be very unforgivable, and I hope one day they can find peace within forgiving me. There's a lot of times that I think about the wrongs that I've placed in other people's lives, and it wears my heaviness and my heart a lot. So I feel like, what I'm going through is probably because of that. And right now we're all clearing our slate from all those different things that has taken place and transpired in our lives, whether we speak on them or we don't, you know. And so, going through, the things that I've gone through in my life when it comes to my father, or, the run-in with cops, I allow myself to not hold grudges, and it took me a long time to actually say that and really mean it, because at times I won't lie. I said no capping. I really thought I was healed from a lot of different things, and this year has really showed me a lot of that. It showed me a lot about how people can be towards me, how people can do things and play like they're not the ones doing it, and you can see it. But you have to allow yourself to know, let karma take its course. Don't allow yourself to stop and try to justify trying to prove a point towards other people, how people's character is, because it'll eventually show. I always tell people, hey, people that I trust and I know that looks out for me, I'm like, hey, I'll come up dead, I didn't do it. I'm just letting you know now I didn't do it. And but I know I'm protected. I don't have to worry about different things like that. God feels like, hey, if anything goes on with you, it's a reason behind that. It's not the fact that he doesn't love you. It doesn't the fact that he wants you to tear down or even be broke down. But a lot of these things take place in your life to teach you how to love yourself, how to stay strong. Even when people want to put their weaknesses on you, they want to, laugh at you or mock your dreams or mark things that you are really trying to push forward to do. That's going to be so beneficial, not just for you, but maybe the legacy you're trying to leave, or, the change of the world you're trying to happen. You're trying to make it happen or take place. There's things like that where you're the more you are open towards your gift and more you're allowing yourself to become teachable, because there's, no matter what age you are, you can still learn something new about yourself, about the world, or even about change that's taking place. When that ego is gone, when that enemy is going on the inside, you cannot be touched on the out, and it will be tested, especially if you're on this journey where you're working hard to get things that you deserve. Universe knows you deserve it too, and God definitely does. But he will allow you to go through certain things that you will suffer in the most unimaginable way, but through that suffering, you will go through unimaginable growth, and you will find love in places that you never thought love could ever exist in. And I sound proof of it. If you know my story, the things that I tell you I've been through. It isn't easy, because there's a lot of times that, I carry a lot of emotions. I feel the gratitude from other people that email me and say, Roslynn, I've heard your story, the things that you have talked about, the things that you said you have gone through. And it broke my heart to know you went through something like that, and you have so much strength to just be able to allow yourself to keep going, still trying to give people love, even though that was denied to you in so many different ways. And that's the things that pull my heartstrings. There's times that it's like so hard for me to like reply back to y'all, because I'll be crying, because a lot of times I don't feel like I'm being heard, or, I felt like I was wasting my time, on different things. I've been doing this almost close to going on, it's almost close to 6 years I've been doing this. And it was just like, I thought my subscribers would be a lot more, even though it's good, but I thought it would be a lot more by this time, or even the views. But it's just like, you just don't know, who you're inspiring, because there's not a lot of people that's going to tell you that. But there is going to be some people and say, what, I've seen, I know part of your story, or I know your story. And it moves me, and it allows me to know that I'm not in this life alone. There's a lot of different things where people will see you as a whole confusion of a hot mess, because they're trying to understand what is going on with this person, what is going on. But you have to understand, a lot of closed-minded people are not going to see the scenes that you have. Even the ones that are woke, you have a vision that only you were supposed to see, and that's okay. If you've been sent on a purpose of trying to find yourself within yourself, and you don't even understand. It's just when you allow yourself to keep continuing to go, that's all it really matters. What people think about you, what they say about you, has nothing to do with you. Their definition on how they define you is how they see themselves, not how you see yourself. Well, how you see yourself is being an awesome person, knowing that even though you don't have your good days as well as your bad days, you're not perfect. Nobody is. The people that judge you half of the time ain't got their own ish rate. They don't even own their own stuff that they go through. They rather just put it off on other people, and that's the most weakest thing somebody can do. But you have to allow yourself to keep going, and you pray for your enemies because they need it more than you do, because you're allowing yourself to go through your emotions. You're allowing yourself to face your pain, the anguish that you have held on to, the anger you have gone on to, and you allow yourself to keep going. Even when you don't understand where you're going, you're allowing yourself to be open, to be taught, to heal, to stay determined and motivated. You're dedicated just to the moments of change, and that's powerful. That's very powerful. You could have gone through a lot, and you're still trying to allow yourself to be moved. And a lot of times we don't see the strength that we carry when you even when you don't know. There'll be days that you're gonna have to take a break. There're gonna be days you're gonna be mad at the world. You're gonna be mad at yourself. You're gonna hate yourself at times when you go through different things. But when you allow yourself to keep going, that's what God pays attention to. He pays attention to the ones that are stubborn, the one that's ill-will hearted, but just keep moving. That's right, bold is I don't know what, and then be honest about it. Like, look, I don't know where I'm going right now. I don't even, I feel like I'm trying to find myself out of the paper bag and can't even find the directions to get up out of there. But I'm still trying to move forward. And that's what God pays attention to. A lot of times we feel like our prayers aren't being heard, or we're being understood by God, or he even understands, or trying to make you go through the things as long as you've gone through. There's going to be a moment where he's going to flip that script on you in so many beautiful ways, so many unimaginable ways that you never seen coming. And then you're going to understand why the enemy was so hard on you, why the devil kept sending so many folks towards you, because he sees that good into you. He sees that light that you carry. He sees how so many different things has broke you, but yet you built yourself back up to get better. Even if you fail, you came back with a 10 times harder comeback, than the setback that has taken place. And he hates you for that, but that's the reason why God chose you to go through that, and allow yourself to keep going. Everybody has a story. There's bits and times I was like, damn, what am I saying? I'm going around in circles, but, hopefully you can understand what I was talking about. A lot of times it's kind of hard for me to talk about things that I make peace with. But guys, like, you need to, piece by piece, tell them the things that you have gone through, I'm not saying that I have a vendetta towards cops. I know they're not getting paid for the stuff that they have to deal with on a daily basis. I know they see a lot of things, just like the people in the military. They see a lot of things. They have to live with that stuff. There's a lot of people that, join those forces to have that oath to protect. A lot of times they only protecting themselves. They're protecting the real criminals behind the badges that use it for the wrongdoings. But there's also some good cops out there who really care about communities. It's actually, getting out that oath, maintaining that oath to, protect and serve. And, I give props to those. The other ones, I just keep my own opinions to that, but, I know there's, even though I've had my moments with cops, I've known like a handful of cops that that has defended me, that protected me. You don't talk mess to me. I don't talk that's bad. And I love them for that, and I don't know how they're doing now, but I hope they're still in a good place. I hope that, they're still living and they're doing good, and they're still doing their job that they love. But, there's a lot of things that goes on into your life that you may not seem as fair. You never try to understand why. It's hard for you to understand why God allows certain things the way he do, but he has a plan for everything that you go through. And don't think that anything you're going through is in vain. There's a purpose for that. Even if you don't understand that purpose, he has a purpose for that. And there's going to be a day when all those times that people have mocked you, there's times that you probably even doubted yourself, even doubt the existence of God within itself, is going to do a turnaround for you, and you're going to understand why things were the way they were. So, hopefully, you were able to resonate with the content of this video. One more day in the 2021. Ooh, son. When we're getting for the 22. Ooh. So, I hope y'all had a blessed Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever y'all, celebrate, if you do celebrate that. And I hope, this new year is going to give you a whole new insight into your life that is truly deserving of you. If you have been going through different things in your life, knowing there's going to be some new opportunities that is way closer than you ever imagined. So you keep allowing yourself to go. If you need to take a pause for the cause, you go ahead and do that. If you need to have that solitude for yourself, to get that gratitude, to get, prep for that elevation, you go ahead and do that. You do what you need to do, but never give up. Never give up on what, your dreams are, your goals are, you just keep going. So love and blessings to you. I would love to give a personal shout out towards all the new subscribers that's been popping in. I truly appreciate y'all for y'all sharing my videos and bringing other people to me is truly appreciating. So thank you for that. I would love to give a post notification shout out to JL. Much love to you. Laura Littleton, much love. Good to hear from you. John Caps as well. Welcome to the fam. Darrell Taytel, welcome. It's so good to have you. And Riot Official Channel, much love to you as well. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, please go ahead and drop a comment. Like and subscribe, share as well. I leave all my contact information, and I will be doing a live chat, live and vibe chat tonight. It's been a while since I did. I've been doing like the chat support, but I'm trying to get that back going again. But I had to just take a time out from myself, away from social media for a while, just to get myself together. So I hope y'all can understand that. But as well, like I said, I will be having an open chat tonight. There will be different discussions that I will have as usual. Or if there's different things that you want to put as well, I tell you all the time, I'm going to start back on, let me see. I forgot what is today's date. Well, I know it's the 30th, but I forgot. Oh, okay, so today's Thursday. So I may or may not have chat support because it's New Year's Eve. No, I'm going to start that back on Monday. I'm going to go ahead and do that because I'm like, no, it's New Year's Eve. There's going to be a lot of people out here drinking, doing whatever. I ain't trying to be doing all that on a New Year's Eve. But I will be having live chat tonight. So, and chat support will be starting back up on next week, Lord willing. So, like and subscribe. I'll leave all my contact information in the description box below, as well as my link to my podcast as well. So I hope you can be able to listen to that as well. So much love. Like and subscribe, share, drop a line. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me. And you'll see me on my next video. Much love. Remember to come in. It is like almost 3 o'clock my time. It's Eastern Standard Time at 6:30. So hopefully you'll be able to connect with me. Much love to you. Peace. Namaste. Be wild.